Hi, distinguished followers, and welcome back to English with Teacher Dixon. Today, I want to continue from where I stopped in my previous video. That's concerning the monophthongs of English language. Particularly, I considered the graphemes representing some of the sounds, some of the phonemes of English language. So today, I want to consider also two of the front vowel sounds as two of the front monophthongs and also one of the back monophthongs. So I'd like you to pay attention to the graphemes. Once again, graphemes are those letters of the alphabet that can represent the phonemes. All right, let's get to it. We have here graphemes of the R, and R sounds. Right, so let's begin from the sound. The sound, just like the first two vowel sounds we discussed previously, is a front vowel sound. It is a mid-high front unrounded sound. That's because when you articulate it, the tongue is moderately raised towards the roof of the mouth, and we have an unrounded shape of the lip. Right, so for the sound, we have different spellings that can suggest it, ranging from letter EA, AI, letter EI, and to OE. Right, so when each of these letters is employed, it means you're likely to have the A sound. Note the pronunciation and also how it is realized in words. So we have letter E as in bed, red, pen, let. So letter E is the most obvious spelling of the A sound. Also we have EA as in head, bread, dead, meant. I've seen the transcription. So I have here head, bread, dead, meant. Another spelling for the A sound is AI. So don't mispronounce this word as A. It is not said, but said. Again, again. So we have against. So AI as in said, again, against. We also have letter A as the spelling of the A sound, as in any, many, says. So in place of letter A in these words, we have the A sound, any, many, says. Again, we have EI. Note the words coming under this particular grapheme. EI as in leisure, heifer, Leicester. Look at the words and their pronunciation. It might be different from what you've been pronouncing. So this is the actual pronunciations of these words. We have leisure, leisure. So in place of EI, it is not leisure, it is leisure. Heifer, not heifer. And Leicester, not Leicester. Note the pronunciation of the word, especially the last one. We have two syllables and not three. It's Leicester and not Leicester, as some people will pronounce. Okay, we have the last one and a very important one at that, which is EO as the grapheme for the sound A, as in leopard, Leonard, Jeopardy, and Jeffrey. Most times, people mispronounce these words as leopard, Leonard, Jeopardy, and Geoffrey. It is not Joe, but we have the sound in place of the EO. So this is leopard, Leonard, Jeopardy, and Jeffrey. So these are the graphemes for the A sound, which is vowel number 3, a front vowel sound. Now let's take vowel number 4. Vowel number 4 is articulated as R. R. It is equally a front vowel sound. R. The tongue is raised. The tip of the front of the tongue is raised. Right. So we have R. These are the graphemes. We have very few letters of the alphabet that can represent the R sound. Only two here. That is to say, wherever you have letter A, you're likely to have this sound. And I would like to also emphasize here, many persons consider this as a diphthong because of the phonetic symbol. Notwithstanding the structure of this phonetic symbol, it is a monophthong, a single vowel sound. It is not a combination of two sounds. So what we have there is a, a, as simple as that. So the first spelling for the R sound is letter A, as in cat, man, fat, pack, cat, man, fat, pack. So in place of letter A in those words, we have the R sound. Also, looking at the next grapheme, we have a I. So the sound R is realized in place of a I in these words. For example, we have flat and flat. It's not plight, it's not plight or plate or what have you. It is flat and flat. Look at the spellings and the pronunciation. Okay, now let's look at the only back vowel sound we are going to consider today, which is vowel number 5, the R sound. R. Pay attention to my pronunciation of the sound. R, R, R. As the back of the tongue is lowered to give you the sound. R, R, R. So the R sound can be seen in place of letter A, but mostly we have the A, the short A, in place of letter A. But in some words, we have the long R. For example, in father, father, father. Drama, drama, father, drama. Can also have it in words like pass, class, and so on. So in place of A, we can have the R sound. Also, the most obvious spelling of the R sound is a R. Whenever you have R after A, that means you're likely to have the R sound, as in star, car, park. Then we also have AL as the spelling of the R sound. Once you have AL, likely to have the long R, as in palm, balm, calm. In these words, you've seen a consonant letter before the last letter, which is letter L. But letter L is not realized in these words. So whenever you have a structure like this, a word structure like this, note that you're likely not to have the sound of the consonant letter L. Rather, you have the long R there. So in place of AL, you realize R in all these words. Palm, balm, calm. Again, we have a U as the grapheme for the R sound, as in words like aunt, aunt, my auntie. We have laugh, we have pound, we have draft, and frat. Look at the spelling of these words and how I pronounce them. I take it again. Aunt, laugh, pound, draft, draft. All right. Now, let's consider the last, but by no means the least. I'm saying that to say, think this one is not important. It is equally very important. So we have ER or EAR. That's why you have A in brackets. That's to say you can do with A and sometimes you can do without A. And it's also suggesting that some of the words we are going to have here will go with ER, some will go with EAR. So in place of these graphings, we have the R sound. A typical example is sergeant. In sergeant, we have ER, and this ER is articulated as R. Then we also have heart. In heart, we have EAR. Then we have plaque, plaque, ER. We also have horse, horse. Note the difference between the pronunciation of this heart and heart. This one, the last letter is T, whereas here we have TH. So this one is heart, whereas this one is horse. All right. Then we have the last word here, which is derby, 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 notwithstanding DER. Some people will call this derby. It is wrong. It is not derby, but derby because of the R sound in place of ER. I'm not saying this to say that in all the words we have ER, we must articulate that part as R. It is only in few words, and I've pointed out those words, the major words with the R sound here. The spelling ER is majorly for another sound, but sometimes we have words with ER or EAR that has the sound R. So that's why I'm laying emphasis on these words. So do well to study critically the structure of these words and the sounds we have underneath, because that will really help you to be able to identify whether in an exam or when you're reading, you read and pronounce words correctly. That's the major aim of this class. So do well to consider the graphemes as the letters of the alphabet representing each of these sounds. Now we've considered the A sound, the R sound, and the R. Note this articulation of the sounds again. A, R, and R. So that is it. Thank you for watching this video. I want to believe you've learned something. I remain Teacher Dixon.